We are in Sefer Bamidbar, in the book of Bamidbar, and we are beginning the parsha of BeHaalotecha. And BeHaalotecha includes the menorah, it includes the journey from Sinai into the land of Israel. We don't make it into the land of Israel, but over and over we continue to almost be there. In fact, the book of Bamidbar, the book of the wilderness, the desert, over and over tells us how close we are to the land. But much of the journey is full of kvetch. Much of the journey is full of complaint. Should we really be surprised? Any of us who has served as a leader in the Jewish community, or really in any community, knows that we make our way slowly and often not quietly. That's part of what it is to journey through life, and it seems to be certainly part and parcel of the Jewish community. But ultimately, those kvetches also demonstrate a nervousness about the future based on anxiety that we've inherited from the past. Change is very hard, and there are different kinds of change. A friend of mine, Rabbi Elliot Kukla, has a wonderful comment about the difference between change and transition. Change is rearranging the externals, often. But transition is when something on the inside changes. We say in this week's parsha that we remember in Egypt the leeks, the melons, the onions, the garlic. Now our bellies are shriveled. There's nothing but manna to look forward to. And that tells you how hard change is, because the manna was everything. It tasted like anything. But our complaints were from the old part of us, the nostalgia for what we knew even when it was terrible. That's the pain that I knew. Hi, my love. Neshama's here. Oh, I get to learn Torah with you this morning. That makes me so happy. The pain of where I was can sometimes influence how I see what's before me and makes me nervous that even that won't be anymore. So then I ache for the pain that was familiar. What a strange thing, and how important it is then to realize that change is actually really hard. Transition, an internal shift, is much more important than that. And I think about this in the context of yesterday's glorious Celebrate Israel parade. And Judy, I cannot thank you enough for all the work that you did, and to anyone involved as leaders in the JCRC of New York and at UJA for making this happen. It is an extraordinary thing to notice how hard change can be, and to see the gloriousness both of the return in strength of celebrating Israel on Fifth Avenue, where I was as a baby in a stroller, and then I saw my children at the top of the UJA float dancing their hearts out along with the entire New York Jewish community. But what I am saying in this Parsha's context is that the state of Israel right now is undergoing enormous change. Some of it simple, actually none of it simple. Some of it pleasant, I guess. You can see the flourishing of culture. You can see the flourishing of music and art and activism. And there are also transitions ahead. What kind of a nation will we be now that we have hit our midlife crisis? Former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett pointed very, very bearingly to the state of Israel, saying, we're turning 75. We're going through a midlife crisis. Don't give up on us. What a gorgeous thing to hear from a loving part of our family. Not an uncomplicated one. Prime Minister Bennett is a politician I wouldn't have voted for, but he's my brother, and he served as Prime Minister of my homeland. How important it is for us to hear each other and to know that change is truly hard. While I wouldn't have voted for him, he sat and presided over a coalition government that included for the first time Arab-Israeli ministers in the governing coalition of Israel's Knesset. If that doesn't inspire me to pick up my Israeli flag and march down Fifth Avenue, dancing with abandon with my children about a future that holds so much promise, what will? Some spent time during the parade protesting the Israeli government, but they did so waving Israeli flags. That's what it is to believe in the transition, the positive possibilities of tomorrow. Not to yearn for the cucumbers and the animosity, and to worry about the powerlessness. We can't fight each other as if losing means we go back to enslavement. We have to fight for the peoplehood we believe in, the homeland we believe in. As Americans, we have to fight for the America we believe in, but not because if we lose it reverts to chaos, but because we believe in something beautiful. And I have to believe that the opponents believe in something positive too. I know that that's hard. Change when you're just rearranging the externals, that's difficult, but not as difficult as actually an internal shift. And what we are fighting for as a world that is struggling with totalitarianism, authoritarianism, populism, anti-democratic tendencies, an assault on journalism. In America, we are fighting against the marginalization of trans people. We are fighting against hatred of Muslims. We are fighting against growing anti-Semitism. We are fighting against institutionalized misogyny. We are fighting against the absolutely nefarious racism that won't even be named in certain states. In all of these arenas, be it the state of Israel, be it America, be it a person's life, here we are, friends. Here we are. What am I willing to think about again for the sake of my children's world? When we as a people in this Parsha are faced with another hardship, which is enduring transitional time, enduring the desert, where we haven't yet made it to the promise, and the thing that I know, yes, it caused me pain, but I can still remember it. Would I ever go back there? Would I allow my mouth to utter, oh, I wish it were just the discomfort of dehumanization, of being completely shut down, of being powerless? Well, we have options, friends. We have a life in front of us. I stood at the top of the float for a moment with my children and with my dear friend Eric Goldstein, the CEO of UJA, who gave me a kiss on my cheek, looking at all of these people, waving this flag, modeled on a tallis. I saw my children dancing to Hebrew music blasting on Fifth Avenue. Do I agree with everyone who marched? Definitely not. Not politically, not in detail. But are they my family? Is everybody, everywhere, potentially family? Of course. Is there work ahead to make sure that every member of our family is granted dignity in the eyes of the institutions of state? Absolutely. This flag during Pride Month is incredibly important to wave. The integration of who we are as whole people. That takes work. But are we willing to do the work to do better than just rearrange the furniture of our institutions, rearrange the furniture of our world? We must be. We must be willing to do the soul searching that leads to real transition, so that when manna is in our mouths, miraculous food that is touched with divine abundance, we don't yearn for the cucumbers and the garlic we used to know. Because yes, we used to know it, but there was no dignity in that life. A life of dignity is everyone's right and the destiny we must fight for, but we cannot fight each other as if the other doesn't deserve the dignity too. There has to be a way forward, friends, and this Parsha helps us understand what isn't the way. We cannot tear each other down, and we cannot go back. We dare not go back. So to all of us, especially in the aftermath of the most beautiful gathering, Jewish pride, unfettered, all the way down Fifth Avenue, tens of thousands of people singing. As we were told we had to get off the float, a whole bunch of us just started singing Hatikva, the hope. Well, everyone deserves hope. Everyone deserves hope. There is no them when we think about the human family. And we have to make sure that we always fight knowing, well, please God, we shouldn't have to fight. But when we do fight, we should fight knowing that our opponents are human beings. And everyone deserves their humanity. Maybe we can lower the temperature and still fight for justice. Maybe we can believe in the institutions of state that need to be reclaimed, not torn down. Maybe what we can learn from our sisters and brothers in Israel who have been protesting for 22 straight weeks, waving Israeli flags with pride and determination, is that you can fight for your best self while being your best self. You can fight for the vulnerable members of society without attacking the world around us. There has to be a way. There's manna in our hands. Can you taste it? It could be everything. Let's believe that the world could be everything. All right, friends, let's go into a good day. We'll learn Torah again tomorrow. Bless you, friends. See you tomorrow.